Life is a joke. Life seems like a cruel joke. And at face value, it is. We come from a place of fear to, you know, help us survive. But us always coming from a place of fear is suffering. And to translate the word dukkha in Pali, it's not just suffering, but unsatisfactoriness. It's the thorn in your side that Morpheus talks about. The feeling that there's always something wrong. And you're just on edge a little. You're always, even when things are going good, you feel uneasy. And you probably feel like things might go bad because things are going too good. And there's just so many vortexes, downward spirals that the mind can play on itself. All in the name of survival. And as far as we're physically concerned, thanks to the ego, it's there to, it doesn't care if we suffer, it just cares if we're alive. From a evolutionary standpoint. But again, it's the mind. So many of my videos are just, don't take the mind, the conscious mind, so seriously. There's so many reasons not to take it seriously. All the way to, it's an illusion actually, but that's too deep for most people. But you do know that it causes a lot of unnecessary suffering and unsatisfactoriness. So life is a joke because it just seems like a cruel joke when you really think about it. But then, level 2, life is a joke when you get out of all of the normal narratives and the default ways of thinking, and then you zoom out a little and you look at it, and then you think life is a joke because it's so ridiculous. First life is a cruel joke, but then life is a joke as in, what the heck are we doing here? Why is it the way it is? I mean, that's connected to life being a cruel joke, but my point is, after you get over it being cruel, you think of it as ridiculous. And you realize that you don't want to invest any more time and energy in making something ridiculous have more power over you. So in a way, that's good. You face the reality, the cruel joke that life is, and then you get to a place where it's a ridiculous joke. It's a joke in that it's ridiculous. Especially the ways we live, and that we do all these things that we aren't wise, even though it's normal. And then most people end up regretting things, a lot of things. and thinking they wasted a lot of time. So that's what I mean by it's ridiculous. So then it gets to a place to where maybe you start maturing more on that concept and within yourself, and you realize life is a joke, but it starts to become a good joke. It starts to become a hilarious joke because it starts losing its power over you. The ego and your projections out in the world, because your projections are just your inner traumas that you have unresolved, and then you project them out into the world. And that's what a lot of causes are, fighting for a cause. And helping the world is a great thing, but if we came from a place with less fear and anger and trauma, a lot of good things come out of these things. But if these people went inward more, I think that they would look at things differently. That doesn't mean that they would necessarily, I'm not saying that they would stop doing it, but they wouldn't look at it in the same way. They would be in a place more from true love and less judgment and less self-righteousness and fear and blah, blah, blah. So when it starts to become a hilarious joke, it's because you are starting to not take yourself so seriously in a good way. Because you realize more of the truth. Life is a hilarious joke because we're here to experience. We're here to grow. And with wisdom, we know that can take any form, and that includes ups and downs, of course. We have countless ups and downs in one life. And we stop, ideally, projecting outward, blaming others. Even if they did something crazy, it's like, this is all just a game. It's just for experience and to learn and grow, like I said in my last video. Life is a hilarious joke when you start to take yourself less seriously. You start realizing the ego served us well. You love the ego too, but you put it in its place. And then from this hilarious joke state of mind, you can love everything. You can love hate, even. You can love a hateful person. You can love everything. There's so many things to love because there's an infinite amount of things that people consider good and consider bad. You start seeing a lot of good in the bad, and you start seeing even love in a hateful person because they're just projecting outward because of fears and traumas, habits, self-protection. And so, not that you laugh at other people, but you laugh inside. And you have compassion because you realize this is all a game, this is all a hilarious joke. And sure, no one wants to experience pain and emotionally and physically, but as a broad overall look, zoomed out look of everything, you're like, wow, it's all a joke. It's a hilarious joke. And you can look at others with compassion, you know. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect at these things. These are just, I'm just opening up, letting go, and just speaking. I don't know what I'm gonna say, and I don't know, so I don't want people to think that I'm saying these things from a place of authority. I've investigated these things, but I'm definitely not a master or anything, but I'm letting go and intuitively flowing, and it is what it is. I'm not planning, I didn't plan any of these words. But I was thinking about how life is a joke, but I wasn't expecting to talk about this. Peace.